Hi, everybody. What'd you think of the movie? I know. I was outside and I heard your applause, which I watched it by myself at home and I applauded too, so it's worth it. I'm Jim Halterman. I'm the editor of Xfinity's LGBT page. I write for NewNowNext.com and Mashable and a bunch of sites. But this is such a special movie. I'm so glad you guys are all here. We have Mya Taylor here, who's going to talk about the film and her experience with it. Mya, come on out. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Um, Obvious first question is, how did this film come into your life? Everybody just watched it. I watched it this morning. It's really beautiful, but how did it come to your life?
I was all at the right place at the right time. I was sitting inside the courtyard of the LGBT Center on Santa Monica and McCadden, and Sean Baker and Chris Bergosh approached me, asking me some information about the area, and I started giving them my stories and everything, and they fell in love with my personality, and yeah, and here we are today.
What were some of those questions? What were they interested in? I'm guessing they were asking you because they wanted to make this film.
Yeah, because I was telling them I had been a part of the area for a while, So I was able to tell them about the time I was walking down the street and I saw this girl get some piss thrown at her, or I've seen some of these things happen in real life, or the time when I had a client of my own because I was in sex work too before for a long time because I couldn't get a job, but we'll get into that later on. As classy as I look, yes, I did it too. Um, let's just be real. Um, but yeah, I was telling him about the time that I had this guy who robbed me of my money that I made, and yeah, so it's kind of like the scene where I was like, okay, you don't forget I got a dick too. It was that scene. Yeah.
I actually love that line though. That was great. So would you say this is heavily autobiographical? Because it sounds like they took a lot of your stories and put them into the film.
I don't think it's heavily autobiographical, whatever he said, but but no, okay, let me jump into this. I ended up introducing him to my friend Kiki, who's absolutely crazy. Like she's totally opposite of me, as you can see. Like I'm classy, and then she's a nice person. So well, she's a sweetheart. She's a complete sweetheart. I so love her so much. So Sean saw the two of us together and decided, you know what, I think these two are going to be our lead roles if we can act. So we had a workshop, and he found out that we can actually act, and he was like, okay, you know what, I need to bring up a script, have a storyline, and all the stories that you told me are what's going to go inside of it. Yeah.
Well, that was one of my questions because, as I told you backstage, I didn't read up anything on the film. I just watched it, and I didn't know because the chemistry on screen is so there. So I didn't know if you. How long have you been friends?
Well, she's not my best friend. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. Let's keep it real. One thing you'll learn about Mya Taylor is that she is the realest thing that you will find in Hollywood. Like we're good friends, but she's not my best friend. My best friend actually made the scene, the color wall scene. Oh, bitch, you don't want to go back to jail, mama. That's my best friend right there. Yeah. We known each other for probably like 3 years, I think. I think we met like at the Jeff Griffith Youth Center a long time ago or something like that. I think that's how we met. But at the time of the movie, we actually lived together. So like, like we were very close. Like if she got into a fight with a bitch, then I got a fight with a bitch. That's just how it was.
Well, I think one of the greatest things about the film is that it's not necessarily about being trans. It's not about transitioning. It's not about coming out to people. It's just about two friends, and that's they happen to be trans. Was that always the vision of Sean, or do you have something to say about that when he was constructing the film?
When I talked to him about it and his other interviews, um, he didn't know what it was gonna be. So I guess like it kind of came about after we told him like our stories and everything. And Kiki had came to him about the whole woman scorn thing, like because she had, okay, I can say this because it's inside interviews, and I didn't put it in there. Sean did. So she had said that her boyfriend cheated on her with another woman, and she wanted to go back after her to get revenge. So that's how he came up with the A plot. Yeah.
We don't get a strong sense of backstory for either of the characters with Alexandra. Did you have one for her? even though there's not a lot of that in the film, like where she came from and her transitioning process, all of that?
No, I don't have a specific story for Alexandra, but for myself, when you decide to transition and everything, a lot of families are not really into that. Like, they turn against you with that, so it kind of forces you to go out into the streets and do whatever you can do to survive. So I guess you can kind of use that as like the basis of why Alexandra's out there too. Yeah.
I want to talk about how this was shot, because about halfway through the film, then I did start looking up stuff online. This was not shot in a conventional way at all. Tell everybody how this was shot.
This movie was shot on an iPhone 5S.
Did you guys know that? That's crazy.
Yeah, because they cheated. They looked it up.
They cheated, but
Yeah, it was shot on the 5S because we were poor. You know, you gotta you gotta do something. I mean, we had a budget. I can't tell you what the budget was. It was large, but it wasn't. But it wasn't. But it wasn't. So we were poor, you know. Sean looked into like different cameras and everything, and then I think there's like this app that he found that was called Filmic Pro, and then there's like the anamorphic lenses, and then there's like this joystick, like this little selfie stick, which held the iPhone, like, you know, so it's always gliding. So that's how he did that. So Filmic Pro was an app that pretty much locked everything into place, like all the little bells and whistles and things. And then I believe the anamorphic lens was from this company called Moondog Labs. At that time, it wasn't in production. I think it was like a prototype, so they gave it to him to use.
And how about sound? Did you guys have mics? Did you have a boom? Did you have
We
any
did.
of that? Okay.
We were all mic'd all the time, and our sound guy, he was like 6'5". So like the iPhone made it easy for us to film because everybody thought that we were just doing something crazy. They had no idea that it would be going to Sundance or the lead actors were getting more and more famous and everything. You know, they thought we were just acting crazy. That's what it looks like, because we are. Yeah, but we did have a sound guy, and if anything gave us away, it was always the sound equipment, because it's like this big-ass cart, and, you know, he's pushing it around and yelling at everybody, "Don't drop the mic!" And, yeah, you know, all that.
Now, I, as I was telling you backstage, I felt like you guys were just hanging out in my neighborhood, because I live very close to a lot of the places we saw. If anybody lives in this neighborhood, like, that's my car wash, which I'll never look at the same way again. But even like the donut shop, and you guys were in front of Hamburger Mary's. I mean, was all that kind of off the cuff, just, or was that stuff you had to arrange as well to actually film these places? Because we always hear stories about permits and all that.
You know, we did a lot of legal stuff, and then there were some things that we just stole, like the car wash scene. We went inside the car wash and everything, and you know, I felt kind of awkward. But yeah, it was really awkward to have another man's face going down there. But we did it, and then like as soon as we see like the car wash people about to start drying off the car, and then he comes up really fast, and you know, it was stuff like that. Or the bus scenes, which I was not on for, like the scene where she's pushing her around in the bus. The police actually got called on the bus, from what I hear. And they had to run off and spread out in different directions and everything, and then had to go get on another bus to do the scene again. And yeah, it was pretty crazy.
One thing that also struck me about the film is just the community of everybody that's kind of living on the street, or just, you know, living that life, whether it's all the people in the motel room working, or just how everybody kind of knows each other on the street. And I'm guessing did that come from you as well, since you also were a part of that?
You know, like the people that were on the streets, I knew people's names, but I was never close to anybody. Remember, I only have one best friend. There's only one person that I'm close to in my whole entire life, as far as like friends go, other than business people, because if you ain't talking money, then you ain't got nothing for me. So, yeah, I knew some of those people, but like some of those people were actually working, you know, like working in the streets and some of them, not all of them, because I can't say every trans person is not a prostitute. Yeah. So yeah, some of the people were actually working, like the 3 girls that were on the corner that were like swinging their hair and acting crazy and everything. Yeah, I actually know them, and I believe they were probably actually working at the time and just acting crazy. It was fun, you know?
How long was the shoot? How long did you guys actually do all this?
26 days, and there were some additional days.
Okay.
So from 26 days to additional days to add stuff in, probably 31 days or something.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Talk about the script a little bit, because so much of the dialogue feels very natural. It just feels like it's flowing. How much is it? How much of it was from the script, and how much was it just you guys just going riffing?
Well, as you know, Sean Baker and Chris Bergosh, the fabulous director and writer of the script, were really amazing. Like, all the serious stuff was, mainly what they did. I think there were a few funny lines that Chris threw in there because he has a very good sense of humor. But most of the funny stuff, it really came from Kiki and I, like improvising, because I'll be like, I want this to be more funny. True enough, we're creating a character, but I need for this character to have humor. I don't want a theater full of crying people. We don't have time for that. I like to laugh. I like to have fun. Like, if you come out and party with me, we're going to have fun. So I wanted that to be on screen. So if you ask me what the most difficult part of this was actually creating a character who is very different from me and trying to make her also very humorous while trying to remain very serious. Because you have to know when to put the funny stuff in there, So, yeah.
Well, and Alexandra sings, and you sing. We get that.
Toilet.
See, that was. Talk about that. Was that also? Did that come from your conversations with the writer and the director about your singing?
Yeah, it did. But I hated that song. Oh my God, I hated that song. It was like, it's all toilet, little boy and girl. I hated it.
But you
Because
sing it
I
so
was
well.
like, because I was trained in opera. So I have a really, really high range, and I can sing, very softly, and then I have a really, like, a high and very fierce belting voice, But I was like, it's so different from what I normally sing. So I decided to do it because it's a challenge. So the reason why I hated it, because it's super old, and I'm 24 years old. I think I was, 22, 23 when I made this movie. And then I'm singing this, and I'm like, it's like super old and slow. I even had to get some voice lessons because they slowed it down from the original version, which was already slow. Yeah.
Well, talk about your history singing, because I think I even read in one of your interviews that you think you put yourself as a singer before an actor. Is that true?
That is true. It's very true. I mean, it's not something that people want to hear, when they're looking at the movie and everything, but I just have to tell the truth. Singing had always came before acting for me because I had always had the lessons in it. I never had lessons in acting, ever. But I knew that I could do it because I had always wanted to be an entertainer. My idol when I was growing up was the singer Aaliyah. A lot of you, okay, I see some heads. Y'all remember her. I thought that she was the most gorgeous black woman to ever exist. And, she was so talented. She was a model, she was a singer, and she was an actor. I said I wanted to be like that when I grow up. So I guess it carried along with me. So when it actually came to acting, I just put my all into it. It comes very natural for me.
Well, outside of not maybe loving the song, were there challenges in acting as the character singing a song? How did you approach that?
Acting as the character singing a song. No, not at all. I don't know what else to say.
You sang the song. It was beautiful though, because I thought the fact that they really made a point of showing that you were alone on that stage.
Yeah.
And we knew that there weren't a lot of people in the audience, but it's still as much as maybe you didn't like the song, like the meaning of the song, it was really great for that scene.
Yeah, the song was very close to Sean, and plus, I think I'm trying to think what it's called, where you don't have to pay for the rights for it because it's already kind of out there,
Public domain. Yes.
Yeah, so that's why we took it. I really wanted to do a Toni Braxton song. I wanted to do "Santa Please" by Toni Braxton. Yeah, it's really, really seductive, and it really highlights my voice.
All right, next movie, you get that in there.
Yeah.
Alexandra has a lot of dreams. I mean, part of it is performing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that does come from you, but is that also something in this community, in real life, that
That's
everybody
true.
has dreams of what they really
That's
want to be
true.
doing?
She does have dreams, but you know, I know a lot of people who are trying to make it like from those streets and into the entertainment business, but it's like you kind of have to crawl before you can walk. And like me personally, I struggled like getting a job. I had applied for 186 jobs in 1 month and did 26 interviews and did not get one job. So it's like when you go inside like Jack in the Box or when you go inside Volvo or Walmart or something, they see you looking one way and then they see your ID and they're, oh, well, she's trans, you know, and then they make up an excuse as of why they're not hiring you, which I feel like is really a shame because before my transition, it was easier for me to get a job, much easier. And I know that I had the skills for all of these jobs. I applied for everything from cleaning all the way to being like an assistant for like a corporation or something. And I got turned down every time. I even caught a few people discriminating against me. But I didn't sue. I just wanted a job, you know? I just wanted a simple job so I can live a life and get off of my friend's floor.
So when you started, you know, I don't know if you actually were out there auditioning for roles.
No, I did not audition for roles. And the reason why is because, like I said, you have to crawl before you can walk. So why try to throw myself into acting right now when I can't even get a simple job? Acting is hard to do.
So obviously this film has opened a lot of doors, I'm guessing.
It has. This film was a blessing. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
It really was a blessing because it just came my way. And I just jumped on the bandwagon and that was my opportunity. So I wasn't going to turn it down.
Once it did start showing at the festivals and going on that whole circuit earlier this year, how did it change your perception of yourself and of the community and the Hollywood community? I mean, because like I think I saw you tweet with Laverne Cox.
Yeah.
You're meeting these people now that are also kind of doing the same thing. Like Laverne has also had her journey. But talk about that a little bit and how maybe things are changing for you now and maybe changing out there in the community.
I have another film that I did like months ago. It's called Happy Birthday, Marsha. And it follows the life of Marsha P. Johnson, who is the trans activist. I believe she was killed in 1992. Some people say it's suicide. Some people say she was murdered. But she started the Stonewall riots in 1969. So that's why that role was very powerful to me. The Stonewall riots, of you heterosexual people, the Stonewall riots was what led up to gay rights of today. Let's just say that. Yeah. And this month right here, I'm working on another short called Diane from the Moon. And she's a pagan priestess. Diane is a pagan priestess who is trying to fight her way to acceptance. So that's why it's important to me. Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, Marsha. There's an Indigo.
I'm not done.
Oh, keep going. Okay.
Okay,
keep
and
going.
also, I was just waiting for their response. And also, I'm working on developing my own TV show and everything. And then next year, I also want to do an album. And Joyland will not be on it. Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, well, happy birthday, Marsha. There's an Indigo campaign, right?
Yeah.
To raise money to basically get it out there.
Yeah.
How is that going, and where can people go to help?
It's going okay, but
Indigo.
just go on my Facebook and type in Diane from the Moon or Happy Birthday Marsha, and you'll find out how you can donate. Because I don't know like the behind the scenes on stuff. I just act and sing.
Okay. What has been your biggest surprise about this whole journey that you've been going on since the film came out?
For all the success, it's like for it to be an independent movie, and then like I won the Gotham Awards. I'm the first trans person to be nominated and to even win, and then yeah. And then Magnolia is pushing the movie really, really hard. They're really wonderful with distribution. I actually have my favorite person here with me tonight from Magnolia, which is Ariane over there in the corner. Yes, I love this lady so much. I swear, like, she's like the sweetest down-to-earth person. We get our nails done and everything together. Like, yeah, it's everything. Like, we really have a relationship. Well, we also have the Oscar campaign that's going on for us too, you know, to be the first trans people with Oscar campaigns. So that's really exciting too. And I'm also nominated for the Spirit Awards. Yeah. Yeah. So Laverne, I talked to her about 3 days ago because we did the shoot together. I don't know if you guys seen it online. I'm sure you've seen it online. But anyways, one thing she really told me, she was like, you've done one movie and you've already pushed your way all the way up to the top. I've done several, and it took me so long to get to where I'm at right now. And like, that was really special to me coming from her. You know, she's so sweet. Like in person, like, you know, she's like really, really down to earth. Like, we'll sit here and we'll laugh about everything. Bitch, girl, when I tell you I just had this sandwich, bitch, and it was, yes, like, you know, it'd be, yeah, it'd be a real relationship. I love down to earth people, and she is one of them.
I was waiting to make sure you were done.
I'm done.
Would you like a career like Laverne's, like where you're on a series and you become like, I mean, she's such the face in a lot of ways for the transgender movement in media. Do you aspire to kind of follow in those footsteps, or because I know you also want to sing and other things? What do you think of just what she's gone through in the last 4 or 5 years?
Well, you know, okay, let me see how to say this. Because sometimes when you say stuff, then people misquote you. I do love Laverne Cox and everything. But as far as trying to follow, I guess, follow in her footsteps, I guess, would I say yes or no? I mean, I'm trying to be my own individual person. You know what I mean? Like, exactly, exactly. I love you. You should stand up and we should have a round of applause right there. I'm trying to take it to the next level too. You know, like I just want to like do my own thing. Like that's why I'm creating a TV show. I want the TV show to be based on all the events that's happened to me in my life and how I overcame them to get to where I'm at now. But I'm not going to play myself. Somebody's going to play me, and I'm going to play me as a celebrity, which is her idol. So it would be, yeah, wonderful, isn't it? Isn't that genius? I know. Oh my God, I'm excited too. I'm excited. Okay. Well, I want it to be very educational because a lot of people, they're not familiar with the whole transitioning process. You know, like it'll be very educational because it'll show how a person feels like, okay, I'm trans. You know, I need to transition to be a woman, or I need to transition to be a man because this doesn't feel right, you know? It just brings more awareness. And also with many different other like issues that were happening and everything, it pretty much helps everybody, no matter who you are. So, and it's also gonna be very entertaining, of course, and filled with drama because, you know, that's just what America wants, right? So, yeah.
Would you say there's a message to this film? And if so, what would that message be?
The message of this film, there's so many. Well, I guess the main one that sticks out for me is, you know, when you have a good friend, then hold on to them. Don't fuck their man. Yeah.
You heard it here, folks. It's true. It's true. Talk about that final scene. You asked me backstage what, you know, if I had a favorite scene, and that was probably my favorite one. I thought it was such a great button for the film. But talk about taking off your hair, because you mentioned that backstage and just shooting that whole scene.
Wasn't that wig horrible? Oh my God. Well, yeah. Sean mentioned that scene like 2 days before we were supposed to shoot it. He was like, okay, so this is what I want to happen at the end of it. I was like, okay, what is it? Well, so you're gonna exchange your hair with her. What? Exchange hair? What do you mean? Like, she never comes out of her 22 inches. But you know what? I thought about it, and I'm actually very, very glad that I did it. You know, Toni Braxton hated Unbreak My Heart. Celine Dion hated My Heart Will Go On. And it made them like some of the biggest stars in the world. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, you know, this was wonderful because it is very sweet, because for me to come out of my hair, bitch, I love you. I love you a lot. You know, so, yeah.
Do you like watching yourself on camera? Like, can you watch this over and over and not be
No.
okay?
No, I cannot. I can watch myself on camera now. Like when I look at my interviews and everything, because you look at this right here, you see I look totally different. Exactly. I'm glad you guys agree. Yeah. Much prettier, much softer. I had just started my transition at that time. So I was very, very insecure about myself. I always wore shades all the time, daytime and nighttime, because I was always scared about what people would say about me, because the world can be a cruel place. So, which is sad because people should just mind their business, kind of like what I was talking about earlier. I don't care whether you, or you is transgender, straight, gay, or whether you hug trees or masturbate to trees or whatever you do. I mean, it's none of my business because it's not paying my bills. I just wish that everybody in this world would just mind their business. And it's not just for transgender people or gay people. Like everybody should just mind their business. I feel like everybody should just respect each other. Like if you decided, okay, well, today I just don't feel like I'm human. I just feel like I'm a part of the Porsche family. I'm a Cayenne Turbo. Okay, well, you're a fucking Cayenne Turbo. You're very fast. I respect that. You know? It is what it is. We wouldn't have any of these ordinances or petitions or going to Congress or anything like that if every human just respected each other. Why everybody got to have everybody's nose inside of each other's booty hole? Yeah, it just don't need to be like that. People should just respect each other. Okay, that's all I had to say.
I want to ask you about the title of the film because I was watching it and I don't know if I missed it, but I don't know if there was a reference that I missed. But tell me what the title of the film is all about.
Well, the title isn't a literal title. I always make fun of Sean. I tell him, I feel like one day you were sitting at your kitchen table and you saw a set of oranges and decided to name it Tangerine. Or I personally look at it like this. James Ransone said this too, but I will deny it if you say this again. I look at it like this. A tangerine looks like an orange, and it feels like an orange, but it's not an orange. A transsexual looks like a woman, and she definitely feels like one, but she's not a woman. We're transgender women, So that's how I kind of feel like it. But Sean, he always says, it's the colors of the film, so I named it Tangerine. Yeah, so Sean's so sweet, and Chris. Yeah, they worked really hard on this project. They're really amazing. Yeah.
Well, continued success with it as you get to the Oscar campaign, and I can't wait to see what's next for you and where this whole journey takes you. So thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.